Hi everyone, this is Kelly with Kelly Ann Crafts. I am a independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and I'm located in McKinney, Texas. Today we're going to make what I call a stained glass card. Now this is our card that I made, however I did not put a sentiment on it. This is more of a technique class than it is actually making a card. I just make an example of one card. And when you're done making this, you will have your card, and then you will have a total of 3 other card fronts that you can put to make your cards. But we're really looking at this technique. And so let's get started. And I shall put these up out of the way. In your packet that you got from me is an envelope for one card. We'll be able to make one complete card base, and then you'll have 3 fronts for later. Inside that, you will have a white piece of paper that is going to mat and layer on the brown, okay? And then you will have 4 other browns. So I will go over these measurements here shortly, but these brown pieces here are 5 1/4 by 4, okay? 5 1/4 by 4. There are 4 of them. Again, I'm just going to put things that we're not going to use right away out of the way. You will also have in your pack 4 sheets of designer series paper. Now the trick to this method is you could cut it once, you could cut it 3 times, you cut it 5 times. But basically what we're doing is we're cutting this into pieces to create a stained glass effect. I'm cutting it in a certain order, and I'll show you what I do with it. I'm going to put these aside for right now, and I'm going to bring out my paper trimmer. And I'm sure most of you will go, she has her paper trimmer upside down. The reason why I have my paper trimmer upside down is I like to read these numbers, and when I extend the arm, I like to be able to read the numbers, and I want them to be closest to me. It just makes me comfortable, so I use my trimmer upside down. Currently, I have out the scoring blade. This way I don't get things confused. And so I take them in and out. You can have them both on the track at the same time and just slide one out of the way. Usually I take out the cutting blade, but I'll just take out the scoring blade for right now. So what we're going to do is we are going to stack our 4 sheets of designer series paper together, and we're going to chop it up. This is like a 1-sheet wonder with 4 sheets. You end up with 4 cards, and it's really fun. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut this down, and because it's so thick, I want to pull towards me. So I'm going to put this in, and we're going to cut it at 3 3/4. Okay, and I'm going to hold it down, and I'm going to come in and go back up, just so that I can continue. We're going to save these for the backs of our envelopes, so we will put those aside for right now. And get all the rest of that out of my way. So I've got that put aside, and now I need this part to be 4 3/4. So here's my 4, there's my 5, that's the 3/4. And I'm just going to look at my video here real quick and see. Yep, you can see what I'm seeing. Good. And I'm going to, again, pull this towards me. It's the easiest way to go through a number of layers. I just go back up. Okay. These are going to go on the inside. And you know what I did? I did it right. Whew. For a second there I went, oh, I did it here. No, I didn't. I did it right. So these will go on your inside of your card. So we're not wasting any bit of this paper. This paper is getting all used up. So here comes the fun part. We're going to start cutting this into pieces. And when you cut it, I'm going to try to slide this over a little bit. I want you to put the stacks in order so when we go to lay out and start putting things together, it will make sense to you. Now you can start here, you can do it, you can cut on this side. It doesn't matter. You're just going to lop off one end, and I don't have a measurement how many to go in or out. You're just going to do it whatever looks good to you, and you're going to pull that towards you, holding that paper steady, and push it back. Again, you're going through 4 layers. So here's my first piece. Now I'm going to turn this, and there's no reason to it. I'm just going to turn it until what I think I like that little chop off piece there. Right there looks pretty good. You want to keep your stack as steady as possible. Okay, and I'm going to pull towards me and push back, and I'm going to well, it came off of here a certain way. Maybe I turned it again. I don't know. It'll all fit together when we're all done. So, seems this. Here we go. I finally figured it out. So this is like this so far, I think. Then we're going to cut again. And I'm making kind of like a little tie here. Push forward, push back, and there we have it. I did it a little bit different than my other one, but it's okay. It all works out. So this should be here. This and this go together. Okay, so what I've done is it's like this. These are my corners or whatever. Okay? And if we look at the one I did before, this corner is what I took off first. And it's just how you go around. There's no right or wrong way, no wrong way to do it. You can do it however you want, just so you end up with 4 stacks of 4 different shapes, and you know how it fits together. Okay? So, the next thing we're going to do, and here's where you're going to need some glue, is I'm going to have you put 4 of these bases out. I'm going to put this here. Okay, 4 of these bases out, and we can kind of see at least 3 of them. But I think you'll get the gist when we do this. So I'm going to start with the corner here, and it's like setting out cards. I am going to go down my line, giving each piece 1. And then I'm going to take the next stack in order, but instead of starting on 1, I'm going to start on 2, 3, 4, and then go back to the front. And here comes number 3, and this one will start on the 3, 4, 5, there we go. And our very last one is going to start on the very last one and go through like this. There we go. So what I do is I keep them all together on their base. Okay, and I'm just going to stack them up. I'm only going to show you how to glue one so that we can get to the rest of the card. So, like I said, there is no right or wrong way of doing this. This can end up being a landscape or portrait card, however you like. And wherever this all kind of comes together is where you would put a matte and layered sentiment. It's fall. It could say thank you. It could say get well. It could be happy birthday. I'm going to use my green glue here, otherwise known as Tombow. And what you want to make sure you're doing is giving yourself glue along the edges. Okay, I'm not doing a lot of glue. I'm just doing a little glue. I'm going to just slide these off to the side for a minute. And I'm going to put this up so it's got a little bit of a border. Okay. And where I think I know where I want it, I'm just going to press down. You can come in with a bone folder at this point. When you do a bone folder on it, it spreads out the glue, which is nice because you want it to be flat. I'll flip this over. I'm going to put this piece in. somehow. And this one's going to go here. I guess I have a little bit of a space there. A little more space than I thought I was going to have, but I think I put this one down wrong. And I glued it, so it's not going to come up. So there we go. Well, that's a mistake. But again, it really isn't a mistake because we're going to get that stained glass effect still, but you can always put your sentiment right here. So it does cover your mistakes. We'll do a second one after this. I said I wasn't going to, but we will. Just so we get that opportunity to see if I can layer it correctly. Okay. And then our last one here. Normally I start with the littlest one and work my way around, but I'm doing it a little bit backwards. So we'll put that up a little bit farther. We've got a little bit of space. We've got a big space in the middle, and normally it isn't that big, but it still has a stained glass effect. Very cool. We'll do one more. I'm not going to do all of them, but I will do one more. And this time I'm going to start in this corner with this one. And I'm going to, that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to put this corner in. And if you ever get a lot of glue on something, you know it's going to go in one place, slide your piece a little bit with that glue and then move it back, and it just smears the glue a little bit more. See, now that's starting to look like more what I wanted it to look on the other one. Somehow, I know I put the pieces in the right order. Bump, 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 bump. Not sure how I did that, but we'll do this one here. It's all good. It all works out. It all works out. So again, I've got a little bit more space on this one than my previous ones. Okay, so that's what that stained glass is going to look like. We'll do this one I'll hold these off for later. The other two I will put together. I will glue together. This will be the top one that we do. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to grab our pieces like this, and I'm going to go with whatever is in, well, this corner. So I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to glue it onto my envelope. I like them to match, like this one here matches this one. You don't have to do that. You can mix them up. It's just me being matchy-matchy. So when you do this, go ahead and go lightly around with your glue. You don't need it to be really, super thick. You just need it to adhere. You want to get down by this bottom, and what you don't want is some big blobs. Then you're going to take this piece and right at the crease, go 1/8 of an inch over, 1/8 of an inch on either side of the envelope, right at the crease. I kind of do this, then I flip it over, and I definitely on this one do the bone folder. I want this snug so when it goes through the mail, it's not going to fall apart. And I'm going to just let that dry for a moment. Okay, so that's going to dry. We'll take our inside of our card, and of these little pieces here, we will find the same one, which is this, and we're just going to attach it up here. Okay, so we're not wasting it. Now, if you choose to do something else to the inside, that's perfectly fine. I was just trying to use up this whole sheet of paper with zero waste, and it really, I shouldn't say zero waste, because there is a smidge of waste on the envelope, just a smidge of it. And see, by gluing this, if it's not straight, I have some time to move it. Then I press it really good. Now, I don't like to have glue where I might write. So this is when I bring in my seal and I do my little barn door Z. Oh, barn door Z. And then I ran out of it mid film. That's always fun. Run out of your adhesive mid film. But let me just turn and grab another one. It's in a drawer behind me. And with this technique, you can see how easy it is to refill your glue, your seal. So this just pops right out, goes in the dustbin. This one just pops right on. Boom. Put the other half on. Usually, I don't know about you, but when I do these, I forgot to do one thing. I always get what I call these, they're glue dots right here on both of them, and I just take my finger and clean them out so they're not sticking on things, and I roll them around and throw them in the trash. They're like little, I don't know, they're just accumulation of glue. If I'm going too fast, some of it falls on there. Oh, there we go. Did I get it? I missed it again. Now I can't line it up because I'm trying to be fast. There we go. There we go. So now this piece is going to go on the inside of my card. And if it's not working for you, just use your finger and slide it a little bit. And there you go. There's the infamous C. This goes here on the inside. I'm going to take my finished piece. I'm going to put it on the front here. And because of this spacing, I will probably use this one more in a portrait style, so I can put my sentiment right in this area. But the stained glass effect is just having that space in between. And doing it fast, it's not as neat as this one. I did much slower, and you can see that it's a little bit, there's just smaller spaces. Here's where I'd put my sentiment, or here, you know, if I was doing it horizontal. Now this has had a moment to dry, so take your paper snips that you have, or any scissor. I have ribbons on all my scissors. It's so I know they're my scissors, but some people put ribbons on just so that they can say this is my ribbon scissor. My scissors stay pretty sharp, so and I don't cut a lot of ribbon with them. Now paper will make your scissors dull, but I kind of sharpen my scissors all the time, so at least every 5 years or so. So this is your scrap. So like I said, it's not a zero scrap, it's just minimal scrap. And that can go in your dustbin. And this is what you will end up with. You'll end up with 3 fronts. 2 of these are not glued together, so I'm not going to smear them out. One finished card without a sentiment, and 1 finished envelope. You will end up with 3 more envelopes and 3 more insides. So I want to thank you all for joining me today. If you like this video, please mark a like. If you want to share with friends, please share. I believe I got this technique from France Martin, otherwise known as Frenchie. If it wasn't her, it was most likely um, Sharon Anderson, and she's under Texas or TX Stampin' Sharon. That is hers, and Frenchie is, I think, Frenchie Stamps. Either way, I think this is a lot of fun. I hope you enjoy, and we'll see you on our next video. Thank you. Bye-bye.